Tell me a bit about your kids. How old are they?
16 and 14 are my two daughters, Ava and Stella, and then Noah's turning 12 in a week.
Okay, and what do they think about this letter that you wrote to them?
Well, actually, my eldest daughter, she's the one on social media the most, and so she was like, "Oh my gosh, Mom, this thing is going crazy. All my friends are sharing it and asking me about it," and she just doesn't really get it. I mean, she's 16. She doesn't think that anything I do is really that noteworthy or cool, so she was just a little...
Like every teenager, right?
Yeah, she was like, whatever. And Stella was like, well, I read the letter. I'm glad we're like seeing eye to eye on it because that's the kind of life I was going to live anyway. So better we're on the same page. And then Noah just really doesn't care one way or the other.
But have you talked to them about the possibility of going to college? Are they interested in going to college, or are they just like following, your advice?
They know that they can do whatever. What a lot of people have misinterpreted with the letter is that I'm telling my kids to not go to college.
Correct.
That's not the
But
case
it's not like
at
that.
all. I'm saying only go if you want to be there. Don't go for me. Don't go because society tells you it's like the good path or the responsible path.
Right.
Go if you want to go, and I'll give you my full support. But if you don't want to go, I really couldn't care less as long as you're educating yourself and growing in some way. It does not have to be the college route.
So tell us about why you decided to move to Argentina.
Oh, I just needed a change. I was a stereotypical suburban soccer mom, robot Stepford wife, and I just kind of flipped out one day and decided, no, this is not for me. This is not an authentic life this does not reflect any of my ideals, any of my desires. So I got out.
And where in the United States were you living back then?
In Michigan.
Mm-hmm. And you moved to what part of Argentina?
El Bolsón. I actually live about 30 kilometers outside of El Bolsón, up in the Andes, really rurally, have a farm there, and it's a much better fit for me.
Okay. Cathy, just final question. Do you think that education in the world, or at least in the Western world, is changing? Do you see that there's a reason why your article resonated so well with a lot of readers, and it's probably the fact that a lot of people agree with you on the fact that going to college these days is not really necessary or synonymous with success. I mean, if you look at Mark Zuckerberg, who's a Harvard dropout, then going to college doesn't really mean that you're going to be successful. So do you think that that's why your article resonated so well with readers?
I'm not sure what nerve it exactly hit, but the response has been phenomenal. I wrote it basically not only for my kids. I mean, it was easier to write to my kids because I've got direct experience with them. But in the culture, in the U.S. especially, I see all the kids there that are my kids' age, and their only focus in life, and especially a lot of it's coming from the parents, is what SAT scores they're getting, what college prep classes they're taking, this, that. They're getting tutors, they're getting that, they're taking extra classes. And there's so much stress. These kids are going to bed late at night after pulling all-nighters, and they're getting just like come down on hard by their parents, and they haven't even started.
Right.
They've got so much pressure on them that if they don't do well to get into the right university, they're screwed from the start. And I just wanted to say, guys, you know what? That really doesn't say all that much about your intelligence, your SAT score. Some people don't take tests well, and they could be genius at other things. And so I just kind of wanted to put it out there saying, just drop the stress a little bit. Go if you want to go. If you don't want to go now, don't go now. But don't just, at least you've got one person out here who doesn't judge your intelligence based on what college you go to.